Hi, so I am gonna show my newest level that I am currently working on for the third-person shooter game. And this level is intended to be a very large map, featuring 70 enemies and possibly even new enemy types. So far, there's a ammo box at the start, two of them. The progress I have so far is that there's at least 4 ammo boxes and 1 medical box. That's all of the enemies in the level so far. The last remaining enemy is actually there to ensure the game doesn't end immediately upon loading. Now I am gonna show the code. The functions in detail are that starting with the on-draw gizmos function. Basically, it draws an icon depending on the game object's tag. If it's a pistol, it draws a pistol gizmo, and if it's a rifle, it has a rifle icon. On trigger function should be self-explanatory. And for the last part, if that tag is not valid, then it will log a error saying invalid weapon type. If the tag is valid, then the game object will be destroyed. Now here's the minimap dot code. When the scene loads, a new dot will be instantiated at the object's position. The Y position is 5 below minimap Y position. If the object is clear, it will be a green dot. If the object is an enemy, it will be a red color dot. Otherwise, it will be a gray color dot. And this error handler, if it doesn't find a minimap camera, it will log an error saying minimap camera not found. And here's the clear controller. These variables are used to set movement. As the clear here can start in many places, these variables are needed. Flipping movement means if true, horizontal will be vertical. and vertical will be horizontal. Inward horizontal and inward vertical are self-explanatory. And this is health full bull is used to check if the health is full. If the health is full, the player will not pick up a medical box. And for showing blood, if there's a blood point, the blood will be instantiated at the blood point position. Otherwise, it will be at a transfund position. The add health function is not just a damaging function. It also has a bull to show if it will heal. If the heal bull is true, and then it will heal the player. This is the game controller script. For checking if the game can win, it always checks if there's no enemies in the scene. This part is used for enemy counting. If the enemy count is 0, then it will show you won. And then if you press R button, if it's game over, it will load the current scene. If the player won instead, it will load the next level and set the level data. Now here's the amount of enemies in the game. Firstly, this is the spider. There are 3 colors and 1 variant called injured spider. There are 2 large spider colors. And this is the alien. It makes an appearance in the town level. And there are 3 robots. Each one has a defenses. The grey and red ones can run. The blue one can walk instead. The blue robot deals slightly lower damage than the grey robot, but its attack time is as fast as the red robot. The grey robot's attack time is slower, but it deals 17 damage. And the red robot has increased damage and attack time. The acceleration value is slightly higher. There are 2 scorpion variants. Like the robots, each color has defined states. The yellow fatal scorpion has a higher damage and health than the normal scorpion. The zombie makes an appearance in two levels: the abandoned lake track level and the graveyard zone level. And this is the snake. It can be hard to hit, and deals a lot of damage, but its attacking time is slow and has low health. And here's the real deal: the dinosaur enemy. I plan for this enemy to make an appearance in level 5, the one which I am currently working on. Much slower attacking time, but it can kill the player in just 3 hits, dealing 35 damage and the same amount of health as the giant spider. So far, the giant spider only appears in level 1. It has 600 health and deals 25 damage. The crawling head. Something you would not want to see in your nightmares. And this one has less health than the giant spider and the dinosaur, but it deals higher damage than the giant spider. 500 health and 20 damage. And this zombie currently doesn't appear in any levels due to animation problems. So that's all of the enemies. And to any viewers, I hope you will enjoy my game and play it when it's released.